The yield is the income the investment returns over time, typically expressed as a percentage. So if I lend money at 13% and make a 13% return on investment, that's a 13% yield. Now that we know what a yield is, here's how we're going to yield stack our way to a $10 million private money lending portfolio. In my video titled 34% of the average American income goes towards interest alone, I introduce the 4 components of how a bank operates. Those 4 components are the vehicle, banking, borrower, and depositor. A quick overview of the 4 components. The vehicle is where the money resides. Banking is the process of lending money. Borrower is the person or entity you lend money to. Depositor is the person or entity that deposited the money in the bank. In this video, I want to go into 3 of the 4 components, and that's the vehicle, banking, and borrower. Right now, Vertical Capital's current active lending portfolio is at around $3 million. We need to make up $7 million to get to $10 million private money lending portfolio. With these components that I'm going to cover, we'll show you how we're going to do it. All right, right now, we know there are 4 components, but for this example, we want to focus on 3 of the 4. And that's the vehicle. It's the vehicle. Then you have banking. Then you have the borrower. All right, let's make columns. And another name for the vehicle is your vote. Another name for banking is the process. So the vehicle is where the money resides. Banking is the process of lending money, and the borrower is who you lend your money to, the person or entity you lend your money to. So we're gonna call this borrower, his name is Bob. All right, under the banking column, you have velocity of money, and you have leverage. Under the vehicle / vote, you have a checking account, you have a IUL policy, and that's an index universal life insurance. And this is how we're going to yield stack our way to $10 million. And right now we're currently at a $3 million portfolio, lending portfolio, and this is just the 3 components, vehicle, banking, and borrower. We're not even considering the depositor. And at Vertical Capital, our depositors are our capital partners. We could get to a $10 million portfolio just with our depositors. But I want to show you in this video how we're going to do it with vehicle, banking, and borrower. But of course, we're going to continue to raise more capital with our depositors. So at Vertical Capital, we charge a 13% interest only. And we also charge 3 points. 1 point is 1% of the loan amount. And let's just say if we lend $100,000, 1 point of $100,000 is $1,000. So we charge 3 points. So 3 points is 3% interest. So technically we make a total of 16%. So we make 16% for every loan we do through Vertical Capital to our borrowers. And our borrowers are people that are fixing and flipping property and buying and holding property. All right, and this is the process. So at Vertical Capital, we utilize the velocity of money. And you could check out our video that we did on the velocity of money, top right corner. At Vertical Capital, we could use the same dollar 1.5 times in a calendar year. And that's our VOM, velocity of money. So with that being said, I have to pull out my calculator. If we could use our money 1.5 times in a calendar year, that means if a loan is out for 6 months, let's say we do one loan at $100,000. And being that we could loan the same dollar 1.5 times in a calendar year, this is the numbers it produces. Let's just say that loan is out for 6 months. We have $100,000 and we collected 13% for 6 months. 13%. We made $6,500. Now we have $106,500 to lend out again. $106,500 at 13% times divided by 12 times 6. That's 6 months equals $6,922.50. That's 13% interest. Now we have to include our 3 points on 100,000, which is $3,000. And now we have to include our 3 points on 106,500, which is $3,195. So in 1 year, $100,000, we made $6,500 plus $3,000 plus $6,922.50 plus $3,195. So we made a total of $19,617.50. And that's a 19.6% yield. So just off of using the velocity of money and utilizing the borrower, we made 19.6%. Now, considering a vehicle is where your money resides. So when we make this $19,617.50, where this money is going, where this money is sitting at. And this money is sitting in our vault, which is our IUL policy. On the IUL policy, it follows the index and we make 9%. And also with this IUL policy, our vote, we have the ability to leverage our policy. And we could leverage it at 5%. So our leverage cost us 5%. And by us leveraging that 5% on our IUL, we could then lend it out again to Joe. We know just through the velocity of money and lending the money out through private money lending, we could make 19.6%. So if you do 19.6% minus that 5% from leveraging the money that's in the IUL, that's another 14.6%. That's 14.6%. Now let's consider the math here. So on $100,000 investment, you made 19.6%. On the $19,617 we made, we then made 9% on that. So 1967, we made 9% on that. And then we leveraged the $19,617 at 5% and made another 14.6%. So that's $19,617.50, $19,617.50 times 0.09. We made $1,765.57. And then we made another 14% on the $19,617. So that's $2,864.15. All right, so let's add all of this up. So on that $100,000 investment, by utilizing those three components, we made a total of $24,247.22, which is a 24% yield. And that's the power of yield stacking. And this is how we're going to yield stack our way to $10 million, is by utilizing those three components. And that's the vehicle, banking, and the borrower. And this is not even considering the depositor. To add to this, let's say if we had a EBITDA of $250,000. Every year, year over year, $250,000 at vertical capital. And since 2021, our EBITDA went up every single year, just through compounding interest, velocity of money, and through this process that I'm showing. If we had an EBITDA of $250,000, what would that $250,000 EBITDA if making 24%? Let's check out what that $250,000 at 24% would do. All right, right now I'm on a Dave Ramsey investment calculator. I love this calculator. You'll see me use it throughout our other videos as well. And right here, I want to show the example of if our company had an EBITDA of $250,000 and bringing in and did 24% year over year through utilizing those three components, the vehicle, banking, and the borrower. And this is not including depositor. In that vertical capital, our depositors or our capital investors, because we utilize their money, we raise capital, and we lend their money out at an arbitrage. And I explained that in other videos as well. Right now, utilizing this calculator, I'm currently 32 years old. Let's just say enter the age you plan on retiring, let's say 50. And the goal of showing you this calculator, I want to show you basically by us utilizing those three components, how the money is going to compound our way to a $10 million portfolio. And right now we're at about a $3 million portfolio. So we need about 7 million to get to 10 million. And like I said, this is not including raised capital. This is all our money making money. So if I include the raising capital, we're going to get to $10 million in a short period of time. About how much money do you have invested? Let's just say 250,000. And let's just say we commit 5,000 a month. And what do you think your annual return will be? I just showed you guys 24%, right? Your results by the time I'm 50 years old would be at 35 million. But let's see when we hit the $10 million mark. So it looked like we hit the $10 million mark in 2037. And that's just utilizing our own money. You know, that's not including, I'm emphasizing this because it's not including depositors. Because once I include the depositors, it could be 2026. But just using our own money, we're going to get to $10 million private money lending portfolio by 2037, utilizing those three components. Including the fourth component, the depositor, we could get there end of next year. This is how we're going to do it. Our private money lending portfolio to $10 million. And if I added value in it, please consider subscribing to our channel.